Hey guys, and welcome to Amber Quartz Part 4. Last part, we get to know Tomo a little better, and luckily everything went smoothly, and the re-recording was successful of that episode. And starting with this episode, that is, if I don't have to re-record this episode again, thank God, or I hope. I check everything this time around, and starting with this episode, everything from this point is going to be new, so expect a little bit longer episode. I called that last episode was like over an hour long, and probably because I hurried a little bit to get to the point where I left off part 3 originally. That's the reason probably that it did not hit the 1 hour mark, but everything is chill right now, so I feel a strong session in me. So without further ado, let's get started. I am using the original part 3 save. That's why the text isn't the crows doing the caw. So yeah, I think this is 1 or 2 text ahead from that point, but whatever. We walk in a group of 4 along the school route at dusk. Since it's often just Nayuta and me, both going and coming back, it somehow felt very refreshing. Since it's often just Nayuta and me.
なんか変な感じだよな、こういうの。
Yeah, that's true. But well, I guess it's okay every once in a while.
そういえばお昼休みは先輩がいなくて寂しかったですよ。
Sorry of all days. Today there are a lot of things they monitor as me to do.
じゃあ、昼食はどうされたんですか？
No, in the end I didn't have time to eat, so I just got some bread at the school store during the 5th period break. Well, that I didn't know. Moreover, there was nothing left but yuguisu bread that really felt like leftover.
ああ、お弁当、先輩に食べてもらいたかったな。
What happened to that bento? By the way, what happened to my bento? Yeah, this we think alike. Did Amamiya end up eating it after all?
いやー、食わしてもらえなかった。先輩が後から来るかもしれないからってさ。
Oh man, no Miya. Why? No, I wasn't allowed to eat, they said, because senpai might come later. I see, then could it be that there's still some left?
はい、今私のカバンの中に入ってますけど。
I can eat it for lunch. Then, can I take that? I take it home and use it instead of dinner. Or sorry, dinner. Is it dinner? Yeah.
でも時間経っちゃってるし、もう美味しく
Like
な
I
くなっ
said,
て
we
るか
think
も。
alike. I just heat it in the microwave. No, you went through the trouble of making it, so it would be a waste, right? At this time of year, there's no way the side dishes would have gone bad.
本当にいいんですか？
I want to eat a Nayuta bento.
先輩。
Senpai with an M. Nayuta, whose eyes are welling up at my words. Such an exaggerator.
じゃあ先輩、どうぞ。
Nayuta took out the wrapped lunchbox from the bag and handed it to me. Thanks, Nayuta. I'll gratefully accept it.
こちらこそありがとうございます。
Why are you the one saying thanks?
だって先輩の気持ちが嬉しかったから。
Nayuta.
先輩。
だー、ラブすぎる。初々しすぎてこっちが照れ死ぬわ。
あ、やだ私たらつい二人っきりの時と同じノリで。
お前ら二人の時はいつもこんななの？どんだけウブなの？恋の中二病なの？
You're annoying. Leave me alone.
雨宮先輩、人の恋路を邪魔する人は馬に股間を受けられてまさに玉砕ですよ。
By a horse.
いや、それ俺が知ってるのとはちょっと内容が違うんですけど。
I sometimes think Tenyuji is basically a legend, but sometimes it gets really vulgar, doesn't it? Elegant, sorry.
お褒めに預かり光栄ですわ。
No, honestly, I didn't mean to compliment you at all, but I deliberately not pointed out.
まあそれよりさ、今日は俺も結構びっくりしたぜ。
How come? What do you mean by surprised? Amemiya, perhaps startled by being glared at with a smile by Tenyuji, suddenly changed the subject.
mina倉のことだよ。あいつが遅刻も早退もせず丸一日通して授業を受けたのなんて初めてじゃないか？
That might be true.
皆倉先輩ってそういう人なんですか？
昼休みに言っただろ。なんせ天才だから授業なんて聞いても意味ないんだろうぜ。
Just don't bring up the kabedon.
では、なぜそのような方が今日に限ってきちんと出席なされたんでしょう？
そこなんだよな。実は俺前にmina倉と日直で一緒になったことがあんだけどさ、その時はあいつ学校休みやがったんだぜ。遅刻や早退はあっても欠席なんてめったにしないのに、そんなに俺と日直するのが嫌なのかよ。
まあその気持ちはわからないでもないですけどね。
わかっちゃうんだ。あんたもどんだけ俺のこと嫌いなわけ？
So, in the end, what exactly are you trying to say?
ああ、つまりな、俺が思うにmina倉は今日お前と一緒に日直をやるために全部の授業を受けたんじゃないかってこと。
Wait, hey, what are you saying?
だってそうとしか考えられないだろ。今日に限って遅刻もせず学級日誌まで取りに行った。はっきり言ってこりゃかなり異常事態だぜ。
Certainly, what Amemiya says also has some truth. It's true that Minakura today was unlike herself in many ways, if it was for the sake of doing the duty with me.
もしかしてmina倉もお前に気があるんじゃねえの？
What? Amemiya's careless remarks stirred everyone for various reasons.
さすが先輩、もうまだまで。でもないで困っちゃう。
Narita, calm down. She's just saying that on her own. It's not a big deal. Or he's just saying that on his own.
そうかい。でもmina倉と日直してるお前もまんざらじゃなさそうだったけどな。
Hey, don't say random things.
先輩、やっぱり貧乳さんが好きだったんですか？私みたいな不乳には興味ないと。
I mean, I did pick that choice. It doesn't have anything to do with the chest. The chest, twice.
なるほど。安藤は貧乳派だったか。それでなゆたちゃんにはなびかなかったわけだ。
先輩、私頑張って胸を小さくしますから。
That's why I said it doesn't matter about the chest, didn't I?
モテる男は辛いね。
雨宮先輩、あんまり余計なことを言ってなゆちゃんをむやみに傷つけないでいただけます？
あ、いや、その
なゆちゃんの恋路を邪魔する輩は馬に代わって私が蹴ります。砕きます。あしからず。
すみません、調子に乗りすぎました。反省してます。だから砕かないで。
While I was desperately trying to calm Nayuta, the final notice was being delivered from Tenyuji to Memiya. Tenyuji really does care about Nayuta. Even in the middle of such a silly exchange, I could feel it.
なゆたちゃん悪かったよ。さっきのは俺が適当に言ったデタラメだから。
本当ですか？
本当だって。でもどうしても気になるって言うならいいことを教えてあげるから。
いいこと？
あのさ、この先にちょっと寂れた神社があるんだけど、そこには なんとありがたい縁結びの効果が。
縁結び？
そこでお祈りすれば恋愛成就は間違いなし。安藤となゆたちゃんの仲もきっと深まるぜ。
先輩、聞きました？恋愛成就ですって。
I was listening just in case.
これはもう行くしかないですよね。二人の未来のために。
安藤、行こうぜ。それでなゆたちゃんが安心するなら安いもんだろ。
You're the only one pushed me into anxiety, though.
本当にマジぶっころですわ。
だからこうしてフォローしてるんじゃん。頼むから神社に行こうぜ。なゆたちゃんと俺のために。
Amamiya desperately pleads, being pierced by the gaze of Tenryuji. Well, putting aside the wolf for Amamiya's sake, if Nayuta wants to go, I guess it's fine to go to that shrine. Well then, shall we go to the shrine or whatever?
やった
ああ、助かった。
And so, from now on, the four of us decided to go to the shrine. The evening breeze blew, and the towering trees around rustled. A small shrine quietly stands, surrounded by the sacred forest. Following Amamiya's guidance, we came to this so-called matchmaking shrine, but...
こんなところに神社があったんですね。知りませんでした。これはなかなか小さいながらも趣深いものが感じられます。だよね。霊剣あたらかって感じ？なゆちゃん、それを言うなら霊剣あらたかですよ。あ、そっか。とにかくいい感じだよね。
The two girls were excitedly looking around the shrine with a sense of curiosity. However, I was alone, thinking about something completely different. Hey, Amemiya.
どうした安藤？
I never heard that this shrine has the power to bring people together. Yes, I knew this shrine very well. I haven't been coming here much lately, but when I was a child 7 years ago, I used to come and play here often.
そっか、お前はこの近くに住んでるんだもんな。知ってて当然か。
More importantly, since when did this shrine have matchmaking effects?
ああ、それな。嘘だから。
Are you kidding me? Amamiya confessed that easily. No way, did this guy say such nonsense just to smooth things over back there?
ま、イワシの頭もなんとやらって言うだろ。信じる者は救われるってな。
You know...
そもそも神頼みなんかしなくても、あの子の不安を一発で解消する手があるだろうが。
That is... I understand what Amamiya is trying to say, and I also know that it is the correct argument. But I still couldn't bring myself to take that step.
けどもしお前がナユダちゃんを選ばないつもりなら、この4人でいることもなくなるんだろうな。
No, it's not like I meant it that way.
俺としてはこれからも4人で昼飯を食いたいんだけどさ。まあ、これも色男の宿命ってやつだぜ。せいぜい悩んで大きくなれよ。
Amamiya was acting exaggeratedly silly, but I understood that he was being considerate of me in his own way. Honestly, I really am indecisive.
先輩、ほら、早くお参りしましょうよ。
Nayuta calls out to us. Amamiya and I nodded to each other and headed toward Nayuta and the others.
それじゃ、お参りしますよ。せーの。
Did we get shot? All four clapped their hands at the same time and bowed toward the shrine. After struggling until the last minute, I ended up deciding to pray like this. I hope my relationship with Nayuta can stay as it is a little longer. I think it's pathetic even for myself, but this was my honest, unfeigned, true feeling. Not yet, just a little longer, like this. Come to think of it, I used to play here a lot with my friends. After visiting the shrine, I suddenly felt nostalgic and without saying it to anyone, spoke it aloud. It's been a long time since I've been here, but this used to be the perfect playground for us.
へえ、じゃあ先輩はこの神社のこと知ってたんですね。
Yeah, I remember playing tag and hide and seek. Come to think of it, that was also about 7 years ago, wasn't it? At that time, besides Tomo, there were 4 other companions. Mikone, the child of the shrine, Hime, a spoiled crybaby, Kyo, bad-mouthed and stubborn, and then...
じゃあ、今からかくれんぼしませんか？
Huh? That was sudden again.
ここにいる4人で、ですか？
この年でかくれんぼってのもな。
いいじゃないですか。やりましょうよ。
At Nayuta's sudden suggestion, we looked at each other. Hide and seek, huh? I wonder if it would still be fun if we played it now. Back then, there were places to hide all around the shrine, but with my current size, I probably couldn't fit in them at all. Besides, how should I put it? Right now, I somehow couldn't bring myself to feel that way.
ねえ、先輩。かくれんぼしませんか？
No, let's not. I quietly shook my head. Look, it's already late, and playing hide and seek with just the 4 of us is kind of dull.
そうだよな。どうせやるなら場所もここよりもっと広い場所の方がいいだろうし。
なゆちゃん、また次の機会にしませんか？そっか、そうだよね。ごめんなさい、変なこと言い出して。
No, it's because I started talking about the old days. I didn't really mean anything by it, though. It wasn't that I didn't want to play hide and seek, it's just that for some reason I just couldn't get into the mood. Yes, I think that's just it, surely. Huh?
あら、珍しい。
Huh? At that moment, along with the sound of gravel underfoot, a voice came from behind me. It has a cool yet nostalgic sound, like the ringing of a bell.
こんな若い方々がお見えになるのは久しぶりだわ。
The moment I saw that figure, I was so surprised that I couldn't even speak. A white robe with crimson hakama and braided pigtails tied on both sides of the head. They have a rather mature air about them, but judging from their features, they are probably around the same age as us. And at the same time, it wells up a sense of déjà vu, déjà vu, déjà vu, déjà vu. Yeah, this is déjà vu if you repeat it 5 times. A long time ago, I feel like I saw a scene just like this and had the same kind of impression as I do now.
珍しいですね。こんな子供たちがうちに来るなんて。
White kimono with the red hakama, pigtails tied at the sides of the head. She has a rather mature aura, but judging by her weight and build, she's probably around the same age as us. Height, I don't know why I said weight, sorry. And even though it's a face I'm seeing for the first time, it feels like I've met it somewhere before. That's right, surely something like this is called déjà vu.
当社にようこそおいでくださいました。皆さん、お参りですか？
ひょー、ミコさん、リアルミコさん、しかもべっぴんさん。
あらあら、ありがとうございます。お世辞でも嬉しいですわ。
いやー、お世辞なんかじゃないっす。お姉さん、ここのミコさんっすか？
はい、時国都と申します。
Yes. As usual, everyone mentions her name 6 times this time. Yes, Tokikuni, 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 Miyako, 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 Miyako. I am God Miyako. Is this some kind of shrine maiden chant or chant? She introduced herself that way and bowed politely. Tokikuni Mayako. Yes, the real name of Miko Nisan is also, I believe. I think Miyako, not Mayako. No doubt about it. The girl in front of me is that Miko Nisan. She's grown up completely, but traces of her old face remain. 7 years ago, there were 5 friends I often played with. The only other among us, the girl who was the leader of the 6 of us, commonly known as Mikone. My eyes met with that Mikone, or Mikoni. She probably noticed my gaze because I had been staring at her face the whole time. I didn't know what to say and I was almost completely frozen. Even though we haven't met in 7 years, I never expected it at a timing like this.
今日は皆さん、どのようなご用件で？
What the fuck? Huh? I mean, I know it, we are going to say, but Mikone smiles warmly as she talks to me. However, that was not something to say to a childhood friend I had reunited with after 7 years. It was nothing more than words of a shrine maiden welcoming the shrine visitors.
見ての通り、うちはこんな小さな神社ですから、あなた方のような若い参拝客は珍しいんですよ。私たち、恋愛成就のお祈りに来たんです。まあ、恋愛成就ですか？はい。ここの神社には縁結びのご利益があると聞きまして。あらあら、そうだったんですか。
Mikone is having a cheerful conversation with Nayuta. She wears the same gentle smile she showed me. That meant that she was showing any special reaction. She wasn't showing any special reaction toward me. What do you mean? You haven't realized that I am your childhood friend from 7 years ago? Certainly, I've grown too, and my voice and appearance might have changed quite a bit compared to 7 years ago. Have you forgotten about me? No, I'm not in a position to talk about other people either. Anyway, I feel an irresistible urge to check on that kind of thing. But as long as they continue to act like a complete stranger, it's difficult for me to say anything, especially in front of everyone.
この神社ってどんな神様を祀ってるんですか？うちはお稲荷様をお祭りしているんですよ。あら、そこにお狐さんがいらっしゃるでしょ？あ、ほんとだ。ところで、お稲荷様って恋愛にもご利益があるんですか？さあ、お稲荷様はもともと穀物の神様ですから。そうなんですか？じゃあ、縁結びの効果があるっていうのは。少なくとも私は今日初めて聞きましたけど。ちょっと、アマミー先輩、これってどういうことですか？
あれー、おかしいな。どっか別のところと間違えたかな。もう、アマミー先輩のバカ。あらあら。
Amemiya plays dumb. Nayuta gets really angry, and watching it all with a smile is Mikone. It was just like that word, reenactment of a scene I had seen once before. But that's not it. It's not like that. The person in front of me is probably Mikone herself, but what she sees is not the comrades of the last, what the fuck, from 7 years ago. Even though I am here, a comrade from 7 years ago, and it seems like they haven't noticed at all. You really don't recognize me, or have you completely forgotten, Mikone?
安藤先輩どうかなさったんですか
No, it's nothing. Yeah.
そうですか
Then usually quickly called out to me, but she didn't probe any further. And I, while facing Mikone. In the end, I couldn't bring myself to speak up until the very end. After that, we were seen off by Mikone-san and left the shrine. Even after parting ways with everyone, I continued to feel uncomfortable on my own. This feeling, yes, it's the same as when I see Minakura in the classroom. Thanks to being on duty today, I was able to talk more than usual, but normally Minakura and I hardly exchange words even though we're in the same class. A relationship where we are aware of each other yet seem to ignore each other, a growing sense of loneliness and emptiness. In the past, we used to get along so well. And the anxiety that sometimes attacks me for some reason. I felt like I was involved in this. "95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100! Finally, having finished counting to 100, I lift my face that had been pressed against the tree. Finally, we get what happened 7 years ago, because it kind of feels like very much like the only plot point in this fucking VN that does not get explained. This is the shrine at Mikone-san's house, and right now we are in the middle of a game of hide and seek. No, it was actually about to start. Alright then, where should I start looking? Having lost at rock, paper, scissors and become the ogre, I decided to go, probably demon, I decided to go and look for everyone immediately. It seems like there's no one around here. The area around the shrine is like a grove of mixed trees, and there are plenty of places where you could hide. Places like this are harder to find than shrine buildings. Since I know that, I decided to search from that kind of place instead. Shall we try going over that way too? I wandered aimlessly through the forest. Huh? Where is this? After walking among the trees for a while, you eventually come out into an opera area. Or open area, why did I say opera? It seemed that this was a place directly behind the shrine. Oh, so there was a place like this? There was a strange hut built there. It is just big enough for one person to barely fit in, and the door is decorated with something like a New Year's shimeneva. I wonder what this is. It feels strange. I was supposed to be visiting here for the first time. But for some reason, I feel something that lingers in my heart.
スバルくん
Wow?
こんなところで何してるんですか
But it's Mikone, you scare me. Before I knew it, Mikone was standing behind me. I didn't notice at all. Mikone was unusually good at disappearing without a trace. so she always seemed to appear and vanish unpredictably. I mean, Mikone, what exactly are you doing?
もちろんかくれんぼですけど。
Then you shouldn't go talking to demons, you know.
あら、そうでした。私としたことが。
Mikone smiles sheepishly by saying something like that. No, you definitely knew that, didn't you?
本当はさっき隠れてたらスバル君を見かけて。
Really? Mikone, I wonder where you were hiding. I didn't notice at all.
でもスバル君ってば私に気づかずどんどん森の奥の方に行っちゃって、それで妙なところに迷い込まないかなって心配になって後ろをついてきたんですよ。
I'm not lost or anything. I just came to look around to see if someone might be hiding around here.
でもこの辺にはいないと思いますよ。それこそ間違って迷い込んだんでなければ。
Well, it does seem like there's no one here. This place has fewer trees and is more open than the surroundings, so there are limited places to hide. Speaking of suspicious places, this small hut right in front of me is about the only one. Can we go inside this hut?
入れませんよ。鍵がかかってますから。
I try to find out if it's true. What the fuck? That's true, so that means there's no one hiding inside, right? Mikone, what's wrong?
いえ、なんでもないんです。
For Mikone, it was unusually indecisive behavior. Could it be that this is a place we are not supposed to get close to?
そうですね。ここは祠ですから。
This is a shrine. Yeah, everything, even objects. Let's go. A shrine. So is there a warp zone inside or something?
はい。ワープゾーンって何ですか？
No, it's fine. Don't worry about it. There was no way Mikone-san would understand jokes about TV game RPGs. After all, this person has never played with that kind of electronic toy at all, and when she saw the handheld game console I brought before, they seriously asked, "Is that a calculator?"
ここはね、秘密の祠なんです。
A secret shrine, huh? When you put it that way, it sounds like there might be some amazing treasure there.
そうですね。でも、祠に安置されているのは宝物だけとは限りませんから。
Mikone makes an ambiguous remark. When you say something like that, dressed like that, it creates a kind of atmosphere that's a bit... What the fuck? It creates a kind of atmosphere that's a bit too serious to joke about.
なんて。ほら、お兄さんがこんなところにいたら隠れてる人たちが退屈しちゃいますよ。
Yeah, well, shall we go back then?
そうしましょう。
Mikone-san, who smiled and said that, was the usual gentle Mikone-san. October 16th. Huh? It's morning, right? Before I knew it, I had naturally woken up. When I looked at the alarm clock by my pillow, it is always 30 minutes earlier than the time I set it for. Certainly I'm not that bad at waking up, but it was unusual for me to wake up like this without any particular reason. I wonder if I didn't sleep deeply. I should have had enough sleep. I'm not very sleepy either, but somehow I don't feel refreshed. I guess it's because of what happened yesterday. Tomo and Mikone, an unexpected encounter with two childhood friends who had grown distant. I was able to talk a little more than usual with Tomo, but I couldn't exchange much conversation with Mikone. It's not that I intend to get back together at this point or anything. After all, this kind of thing still leaves me feeling uneasy. It might be strange to say it myself, but I think I'm not really the shy type. I can talk quite well, even with someone I'm meeting for the first time, and often we end up becoming somewhat close right away. But on the other hand, we didn't really become any closer than that. At my current school, aside from Amamiya, Nayuta, and then Yuji, I might have a lot of acquaintances, but not friends. I wonder when I ended up like this. When I think about it that way, the people I could call friends go back as far as 7 years ago. 7 years ago, the 5 childhood friends. They were undoubtedly my friends and comrades. And yet, why like this? That said, it's no use thinking about my childhood now. I have my current life as it is. Even so, I just can't feel at ease. Occasionally, an indescribable anxiety attacks me, as if whispering in my ear that today's everyday life is an illusion. Forget it, I'm done thinking about it. Since this morning, I've been feeling really gloomy. At this rate, I carry this blue mood throughout the whole day. Or rather, is that the kind of feeling you call amber-colored, amber-colored? Fucking hell. Did I name it that myself before? I mean, apparently. I never expected the title drop to be like 6 times in a row. Well, anything's fine. Anyway, let's change clothes. I pulled myself together, changed into my uniform, and decided to go downstairs. Good morning!
先輩、今日は早いんですね。
When I enter the dining room, there is Nayuta again, today making breakfast. It seems that Nayuta is surprised that I woke up early, but on the contrary, I wouldn't be surprised if Nayuta were here. Which one is truly the extraordinary event? I felt that my sense of values was becoming skewed.
ああ、早くも作戦失敗です。今朝も先輩を起こしてあげようと思ったのに。
Hearing that, I realized that I had narrowly escaped danger. It seems that this morning's awakening was a premonition. Thinking that way makes me feel a little better.
先輩残念でしたね。あと15分寝ておけば至福の目覚めが待っていたのに。
You're not planning to crawl into bed with me today too, are you?
やだ先輩のエッチ。そんなことしてたら遅刻しちゃいますよ。
If you dig too deep, you lose. I told myself that.
スバル、おはよう。今日も朝から愛されてるわね。
Good morning, Mother. I'm begging you, so please don't be amused and incited.
煽ってなんかないわよ。私はただ今のうちにより良い嫁姑の関係を築きたいだけ。
I told you, don't get ahead of yourself about everything.
だってスバルは優柔不断なところがあるから誰かの後押しがないと先に進めないでしょ。
As expected of my mother, she understands her son very well.
母さんはね、スバルに幸せになってほしいだけなのよ。
Mom.
ただあなたはぼーっとして目の前の幸せをみすみす取り逃がしちゃいそうで見てらんないのよ。
I can't help but admit that your powers of observations are generally correct, but I want to say this on purpose. It's none of your business! Mom also has a strangely anxious side. Even so, she's still better now than she used to be.
ささ、朝ごはんができましたよ。今並べますからね。
I have... Huh? We're having bread today.
ええ、今日
That's
から我が家
something
の
I
朝は
supposed to
パンなんで
bake.
す。すべては牛乳を飲むために。
No, it's not like this is your home. And milk? Could it be that what happened yesterday was for real? I vaguely remember talking about something chest-related. At that time, I think I said I would have bread and milk for breakfast or something like that.
結局、先輩の思考は分からずじまいでしたが、女としては、やはり豊かなバストには憧れますので。
Putting that aside, even though you made it for me, is it really okay for you to decide the breakfast menu based on your own convenience?
だって給食じゃあるまいし、朝からご飯に牛乳とかってありえないでしょ？
Get away from the milk. No matter how much you drink, it won't change anything.
ひどい。先輩は胸の大きなお母様がいるから、私の気持ちなんてわかんないんですよ。
Mom is just like, with deadpan look. Her fucking facial expression has not changed. It has nothing to do with my mom's chest, right? Anyway, I just don't understand because I'm a guy.
スバル、協力してあげなさい。あなたは母さんの子なんだから、胸は大きい方が好きでしょ？
Don't decide on your own.
やっぱり先輩はそうなんだ。私みたいな不乳じゃ物足りないんだ。
And so today as well, the lively morning scene unfolds. Nayuta had completely adapted to our household, and it felt as if they had been there from the very beginning. No, rather, it feels as if the seat that had been empty all this time has finally been filled. To that extent, Nayuta had firmly embedded itself into my life. Well, I'm off then.
お母様、行ってきます。
はい、行ってらっしゃい。気をつけてね。
Seeing us off, my mom watched as Nayuta and I left the house. This is a scene I completely gotten used to by now, but I wonder if my neighbors might be misunderstanding it.
ねえ、先輩。ちょっとお願いがあるんですけど。
Please? What? Okay, please. I'll go ahead, I guess. Passing through the space park on the way to school, along the way, Nayuta unexpectedly says, Please, what?
今日の放課後、買い物に行きたいんですけど、付き合ってもらえませんか？
Shopping to the shuttle?
はい、そうです。シャトルに美味しいって評判のお店があるんですって。
By the way, shuttle refers to Matsurisawa Station front shopping street, commonly known as Shuttle Street. I went to the shuttle just the day before yesterday, but if it's for shopping, that place is the most convenient in this town.
ねえねえ先輩、いいでしょ？買い物付き合ってくださいよ。
If Nayuta wants to go, I don't really mind.
やった！先輩とデートだ！
What are you talking about? It's just the usual Dieter club activities.
違います。今日は買い物っていう目的があるからデートなんです。
I don't really understand that reasoning either. If the purpose is called shopping, then isn't that nothing other than shopping? What? But yesterday, thanks to being on duty, I couldn't pay much attention to Nayuta. Well, I guess I can accompany you for a bit of shopping.
嬉しいです。
Nayuta seemed to be in a completely good mood. If something this small can make them happy, or make her happy, it's worth it. Even so, you really like shopping, don't you?
はい。何も買わなくても品物を見て歩くだけで楽しいんですよ。
On the contrary, I rarely go shopping unless I have a specific purpose.
そうなんですか？もしかして先輩って あんまり買い物好きじゃないとか？
Naruto asks like that with a slightly upward glance, as if peeking. Maybe I phrased that poorly. I should explain properly so it doesn't get misunderstood in a strange way. I mean, when you are shopping alone, it's different if you're with someone else.
本当ですか？
Yes, it's more chill, probably. It's true, rather I wouldn't go shopping by myself anyways. I'm grateful that Naruto takes me out to various places. This was unmistakably my true feelings. Naruto takes me to places I would never go to on my own. Well, sometimes I get taken to places where it's hard for men to go, but... what? But in that way I felt like Naruto was expanding my narrow world. Unlike Amamiya, I also have narrow eyes. So I'm counting on the Detour Club activities from now on too. Take me to all sorts of places, okay?
先輩、わかりました。この望月なゆた、天竺へだって先輩をお連れしちゃいますよ。
No, I really have no interest in sutras.
愛の国、イン・ガンダーラ。
The way you say it, it sounds really shady. The fact that she started saying nonsensical things like this was proof that Naruto's excitement was rising. Well, this kind of thing is interesting though. We head to school getting excited over trivial conversations like that.
なゆちゃん、安藤先輩、おはようございます。あ、たまちゃんおはよう。
Good morning, Ten Yuji. And as usual, I meet Ten Yuji in front of the school. I love putting emphasis on your name. This is the kind of like dirty talk guys usually do in bed. I love putting emphasis on your name. We run into each other as if timed on purpose every time, but you are not really lying in wait for me, are you? However, since the two were in the same class, there was no reason to go out of the way to wait in front of the school gate.
たまちゃん、今日の放課後ね、先輩とデートなんだよ。まあ、それは良かったですね。例のお店ですか？うん、たまちゃんが教えてくれたところに行ってみる。お土産買ってくるからね。ええ、楽しみにしてますわ。
Naruto and Ten Yuji exchanging cheerful conversation. Even from the sidelines, they looked very close, and I thought they were just like sisters. The two are classmates, but if I had to say, Ten Yuji feels like the older sister, and Naruto like the younger sister. My younger sister, huh? Fucking hell. I feel a bit melancholic at the I'm sorry. I forgot that he had a little sister who died, apparently. I don't know what happened to her. I feel a bit melancholic at the casual coming to mind word younger sister. Man, I really am a guy who keeps dwelling on the past. I hate that it's so obvious that this is the only plot that the developers probably thought out, and everything else is like a cryptic way of avoiding that set topic, because if we would address it, which would probably be the end of the game, then the game would end. And it's kind of dragging a bit, but okay. After that, as usual, I parted ways with Naruto and the others on the first floor. At that parting, oh my god! Yeah, this is like, tie my tie, bitch. At that parting, Naruto tied my tie again, and while feeling embarrassed... What is this episodic shit? After parting with the Naruto group, I arrived at what the hell is this? Did I skip something? Why did I skip this fast? Like, you shouldn't even do that, but okay. After parting with the Naruto group, I arrived at the classroom of class 2B.
安藤君おはよう。
Ah, good morning.
おっす、安藤。
Yo! I greet my classmates as I take my seat. Up to this point, it felt like a series of morning rituals, and I finally felt at ease. I'm not on duty today either, so another boring and peaceful day is usually is beginning.
アンド、おはようさん。
I'm probably on duty again, I feel. Good morning, Gamma Mia. Your eyes look narrow again today.
目開いたらガンマ光線が発射されるんだよ。だからビームが出ないように薄めにしてんの。
What American comic book hero stuff is that?
サイクロプス雨宮と呼んでくれ。
We exchange such silly jokes with each other. Amamiya seems to have gotten quite used to the thin-eyed jokes too.
ところでアンド、今日の放課後ちょっと付き合わね。
What is it? Is there something going on?
実はさ、制服がすごいデザインだって噂の喫茶店の情報をゲットしたんだよ。
What do you mean by an amazing design?
なんでも露出度がすごくて、スカート短くて、でも下品じゃなく可愛らしいデザインって話だぜ。
I like to see that. But is there a clever cafe like that in this town? After all, this is just a suburban town, a step away from the city. Even maid cafes, which have become widely recognized recently, are often seen on TV, but I have never seen one in this town.
それがあるらしいんだよ。シャトルの路地裏に隠された知る人ぞ知る名店らしい。
A famous shop known to those in the know. What? A famous shop known to those in the know. I couldn't help but wonder where they were getting that information from, or where he was getting that information from, but to be honest, it was an enticing offer. I totally forgot about Nayuta's date. As a healthy adolescent, it is a fascinating topic.
だからさ、今日一緒にその店行ってみようぜ。
That's right, then. Wait. No, wait a minute. For a moment I almost say okay without thinking, but then I remember the promise I made to Nayuta this morning. You have narrow mind. Sorry, Mamiya, I already have plans today. He has narrow eyes, I have narrow mind.
先約？もしかしてなゆたちゃんか？
Yeah, I promised to go shopping with her after school.
しゃあない。一人で偵察に行ってくるか。
If you go, be sure to tell me what you think.
やだね。可愛い子がいてもお前には教えてやんねえ。
Why is that?
だってお前にはなゆたちゃんがいるし、あの子だってトップクラスに可愛いじゃねえか。
I certainly won't deny that. Their personality is a bit unusual, but even I think they look extremely adorable. But that's different, right?
おっしゃる通り。可愛い子は大いに越したことないもんな。
We quickly agreed on our opinions. I feel like I really get along with Amamiya in this kind of way. By saying things like that, the chime rang and soon the first period began.
定積分の計算を容易にするために次のように考える。関数 y イコール fx は区間 A、B 乗連続で fx 大なり0を満たしているとすると
No wonder I hate math. Even in, like if I was in Japan and were to learn math with this teacher, I would fucking jump out the third floor or whatever floor I'm on. Probably second because I'm a senior, I don't know. I listened to the math class, which felt like a foreign language I had never heard before, while half-heartedly taking notes. I'm not particularly studious, but I want to maintain grades that are enough to avoid getting noticed by the teacher. Even if you know that calculus won't be useful for your future. Bad turn, let's go. The classroom door suddenly opened, and Minakura appeared from there. As usual, the way I attend school freely, it seems that yesterday was the only day I properly showed up since the morning. The teacher is looking at Minakura with a face as if he had crushed a bitter insect. She probably understands calculus in this class better than anyone, even without paying attention in class. The teacher also understands that, so it's hard to complain even if someone comes late.
またかよ、mina倉のやつ。
どうせなら休み時間になってから来ればいいのにさ。
Perhaps unaware of the jeers from those around her, Minakura silently went and took her seat. And as if remembering something, she takes off her headphones. Don't tell me she wants to go shopping as well. Do you remember being told to take off your headphones the other day? You're the person I can't quite figure out whether you're stubborn or honest. She's the person, probably. In that way, Minakura seemed no different from the girl she had been until the day before yesterday. After all, was yesterday's behavior just a whim? However, I didn't know any way to verify that. It was past noon, and the chime signaling lunch break rang. Lunchtime, which can be called an oasis of the day, a relaxed atmosphere flows around as well. Yesterday was so hectic that I missed lunch, so I want to eat slowly today. Then I suddenly remembered Minakura and casually glanced in the direction of her seat. Huh? They're already gone? I should have definitely been in the classroom until the 4th period, but before I knew it, that seat was empty. In yesterday's conversation in the science preparation room, Minakura said that she always eats alone. I guess lunch has to be karate and mate after all. I imagine that Minakura is chewing on a karate mate in the first place. It might be cute, kind of like a hamster, but after all, it was still a lone sight.
先輩、お昼ですよ。一緒に食べましょう。皆様、毎度お騒がせしております。
お、今日も来たか。いいな、安藤のやつ。
安藤くん、かわいい後輩ちゃんたちがお出迎えよ。
I understand, so you don't need to tell me every single time. There, Nayuta barges into the classroom as if she owns the place, while Ten Yuji greets the classmates with a nod, like exchanging bits of tissue paper. What? Over the past year, the pair of girls had become very familiar faces, even in our class.
よし、全員揃ってるな。早速、屋上へレッツラドン。
この方はいきなり出てきて仕切りますか。目は細いのに、お顔は分厚いようで。
いやー、こう見えて心はデリケートなのよ。だからもうちょっと優しい言葉をプレーズ。
先輩、今日は日直とかじゃありませんよね。
It's fine. Well then, shall we go? Once the usual members had gathered, we headed to the rooftop. I swear to God if Tomo is going to be here as well.
いただきます。いただきます。
いただきまする。
And on the rooftop where there is no one else, our private lunch gathering is held. Today again, Nayuta made a bento for me and I decided to gratefully accept it.
先輩、どうですか？今日はきんぴらごぼうにチャレンジしてみたんですけど。
Yeah, it's delicious. This seasoning really makes you want to eat more rice.
よかった。甘辛くするのが結構難しくて、先輩の口に合うかなって心配だったんですけど。
Although I could only give my straightforward impressions, even so Nayuta seemed very pleased. I honestly think this side of Nayuta is cute. Come to think of it, to have lunchboxes made for me every day like this, and on top of that, to have breakfast made for me at home. Home. I had no choice but to admit that I was a spendthrift. Come to think of it, yesterday's bento was delicious too. I heated it up and ate it as a dinner.
それは良かったです。お弁当箱は今朝回収しておきましたから。
Huh? Then what about the lunchbox you're using now?
こんなこともあろうかと用意しておいた先輩専用お弁当箱マーク2です。
What is this, Nozomi from Koichoku? Now that I think about it, the shape and design were indeed subtly different from my usual lunchbox. Why is the translation is extremely late today? I don't know. By the way, Nayuta makes bento for me. 10 yuji per self, so for 3 people. But naturally the sizes of the bento boxes are different. While the 2 girls' lunchboxes were tiny and girlish, mine was a larger size suitable for a growing boy.
実はこの前買い物してる時に可愛いお弁当箱を見つけちゃって。
Is this what it is now?
はい。先輩のお弁当箱にちょうどいいなって思って、それで思い切って買っちゃいました。
What am I supposed to do with 2 lunchboxes meant for other people? I thought, but that wasn't something I had the right to say. Because Naruto prepared his lunchbox for me.
おっと、今の風はちょっと冷たかったな。
もう10月ですからね。そのうちここで食べるのは寒くなってくるかもです。
That's right, after all it's an open-air rooftop. What happens when it's raining? Until September, the lingering summer heat was still intense, but now the season is autumn. Even so, it might still be fine for now, but before long it will quickly become winter.
じゃあ本格的に冬になったらどこで食べます？
やっぱ教室じゃね？
Please spare me from that.
もうどうしてですか？
Because it's embarrassing. The reason I started eating lunch on the rooftop in the first place was because I was embarrassed to be seen by others. I definitely don't have the guts to eat with the younger girls in my own classroom.
じゃあ私たちの教室で食べます？
That's even more embarrassing.
なんでですか？私とお昼食べるのってそんなに恥ずかしいんですか？
No, it's not about Nayuta or anything. It's just the situation of having lunch together with a junior girl, lads.
今さら何言ってんだよ。お前らほとんど校内公認のカップルだっつーの。
Sorry. This was the first time I had an error. What are you talking about now? You guys are basically a school-approved... Yeah?
ですよね。
This was said by
先輩
my...
のクラスの方々も今では生温かい目で2人を見守ってますし。やだもう、そんな風に言われたら私も照れてきちゃいますよ。
No, seriously, give me a break. We discussed various things after this, but in the end no decision was made and the agenda was put on hold. Well, there's still time until winter. I can decide by then. Well then, lunchtime is almost over, so let's head back to the classroom.
先輩、今日の放課後約束ですからね。
I know that.
悔しい！俺の安藤が取られるなんて！
What the fuck? You went that way?
まさか2人はそういう関係なんですか？
Yeah, implied yaoi. That's what I needed. That's what my life needed all this time. You shouldn't take it seriously either.
私的にはそのカップリングはなしですね。
Tenyuji too. What are they talking about?
よ、色男！
Don't say that at a time like this. By joking around and saying things like that, today's lunch meeting came to an end. And then, in the blink of an eye, it was after school. Maybe because I was full, I ended up sleeping through most of the afternoon classes. Could it be a reaction to the fact that I missed lunch yesterday and felt hungry? Well, I do sleep through the afternoon classes even without a good reason. Phew, it's finally over.
先輩、放課後ですよ。放課後。
Shut the fuck up. Whoa, Nayuta, isn't that a little too fast?
6時間目終わってからホームルームサボってこっちへ直行してきちゃいました。
Hey, hey, that's not okay.
だってもう待ちきれなくって。
Please just calm down a little. Their behavior patterns were exactly the same as a small child. As for me, I feel like a father, and I find myself seriously worrying about this child's future. Listen, it's fine for today, but from next time, skipping homeroom to come here is forbidden. Don't just say, eh. If you skip homeroom again, I won't go home with you anymore.
そんな。
Got it? That's it. Know your place. As she replied like that, Nayuta slumped down in dejection.
おい安藤、それくらいにしといてやれよ。ナユタちゃんがかわいそうだろ。
No, sometimes you have to be strict.
安藤くんって結構亭主関白だったのね。
いるんだよな。人前じゃ彼女に辛く当たるタイプの男って。
年下の女の子いじめるなんて最低。
Why is all the blame falling on me? Most of my classmates, including Gamamiya, were on Nayuta's side. I mean, these guys, when did they start listening to our conversation? Well, it's only natural that Nayuta's existence would catch the eye. Even though we have started to be recognized by the class, we still stand out in various ways, making us targets of envy and teasing. Oh my god, no. Amid all of those eyes around me, I caught sight of Minakura. For a moment my chest throbbed with a jolt. Minakura. But when Minakura made eye contact with me, she lowered her eyes and quietly left the classroom.
先輩、まだ怒ってますか？
Huh? No. Nayuta timidly spoke to me, and I came to my senses. No, what am I thinking? Minakura has nothing to do with this right now, right? Anyway, you can't skip homeroom anymore.
はい。先輩がそう言うなら。
Alright, then let's go home, Nayuta. We also have plans today. At my words, Nayuta's previously downcast face suddenly lit up. Observing Nayuta in such a state, for some reason I felt a sense of guilt. The two of us left the classroom.
安藤とナユタちゃんの前途を祝して万歳三唱万歳万歳
Oh my god, I just got an ear rape. What the fuck is wrong with you people? Let's get this out. Let's get the fuck out of here. Yeah, you guys be fucking quiet.
皆さん、ありがとうございます。私たち幸せになりますから。
You shut up too. What the fuck? I love how you humbled that hoe. Everyone shut up while being seen off by a large number of classmates. Jeez, I'm completely being made a joke of. After leaving school, I remembered what had just happened and muttered to myself. Well, if you say it's too late now, it's too late. But still, I really wish I hadn't been made fun of like that. But maybe that was still the better option. If you think about it normally, it can be helped if the girls who barge into the seniors' classroom are considered annoying by those around them. Actually, there are probably some people in our class who think that way, but most of them accepted Nayuta. Part of it is that Amamiya, who is the mood maker in the class, is skillfully stirring up the people around him. Above all, I think it's because of Nayuta's personality, or rather their brightness and earnestness, which you can't help but like. This girl really has a fortunate personality, doesn't it?
どうしたんですか、先輩。
No, it's nothing. I shook my head with a smile at Nayuta, who looked up at me with curiosity. More importantly, you said we were going shopping today. What are we going to buy?
ですね、お団子とお茶っ葉です。
Dango and tea leaves?
シャトルに美味しいお茶と和菓子の店があるってタマちゃんが教えてくれたんですよ。
A Japanese sweet shop, huh? It was a choice that was subtly uncharacteristic of young people. Well, that kind of thing might also be typical of them. Then, let's start with the shop first. I secretly gave a wry smile and headed towards Shadow Street, in the shopping district.